Hi there YouTube, this is Clormo from Clormo Industries Music Group, bringing you my first video series tutorial and my first tutorial overall on Logic Pro X. And this tutorial in itself is going to be focused on detecting tempo using region length and locators, which is a command that Logic Pro has that not many people know about, or not many people for some reason use, or I haven't seen that many videos on YouTube itself showing this, so I decided to do that. And another reason why I'm also making this tutorial series overall is to focus on how to create a sampled beat from scratch. So I'm gonna make different parts with the different techniques and showing my workflow separately, and then at the end there's gonna be a full video taking you through the same process from start to finish, but on one video. But I decided to show you each part separately first, so you can practice each concept separately until you get a hang of them. So without further ado, let's go to what we have here. And just as a note, there's another reason that this will be useful for you, is that there's some techniques, that time-saving techniques and useful Logic Pro X techniques that I'm going to be showing this series. So this is one of them, and I thought to make it the very first part because this is again my workflow. This is usually how I start to make a sample beat. So I have two tracks here. One has a drum break and the second one down here at the bottom has a full song. So the reason why I want to show you this first with a drum break is because if you know the concept of transients, you know that for a drum break is usually easier to know what the transients are. You can, if you don't know what transients are, it's pretty much these spikes that you see here would be transients. Of course, that's not the proper technical definition of them. If you need more information on that, please Google it. It's very important to get a good grasp of that. I don't want to cover that here. So having said that, I have this drum break that if I highlight in Logic a 2-bar region, I know that this drum break is not at 120 BPM. Its sample must be something else, because when I highlight this 2-bar region, this is not squared with it. If I go to 3, that would be kind of weird, and it wouldn't match either. But I know it's 2 bars. Why? Again, going back to the concept of transients, I have a kick and a snare, and then I repeat that 4 times, which in typical 4/4 measurements would equal 2 bars, right? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I repeat that, making it 2 bars. So it's very simple. I have the region selected, and you need to select the region for this. And all you're gonna do is you go to edit, tempo, and then you're gonna select this here, adjust tempo using region length and locators. When you do that, this little window comes up that says change tempo of project globally or create tempo change. So for this, for what I'm demonstrating here, you're gonna select globally. And as you can see, it took that drum break auto region, matched it to the 2 bars, and it tells me that the tempo of that drum break is 98 point something, which is, you know, the actual tempo of it. And the way to prove that is to play it, and let's see, or let's hear, I should say, the loop, right? So there you have it. That's perfect, right? So I know that's the tempo of this drum break. There's not much to it. That's really all that command does, and I prefer to use it. I prefer it over other methods because it's so much easier to use than the BPM counter, for example, which is a popular, I know it's a popular way of detecting the tempo. And it's much more exact, not only because I'm, like in this example, showing this range of numbers here, but it's it's gonna be much more exact in my view than other methods. Of course, when you're making sample beats, you really don't have to be that exact, you know, I mean to the last digit. If you can, let's say if you guess this to be 98 or 99 more, you would probably get the same result, but this would be a little bit cleaner. That's all, you know, nothing, not discrediting any other methods or any other techniques out there, just that I prefer this one better because it gives me quicker results and they're more exact in my view. So having said that, I made this for the drum break, and well, that's all good and well because it's easier to do. But what about a song section? And this is where I will mute this, and I'll unmute the second track. I'll turn on off, I should say off. I'll turn off that region loop, and let's listen to this. This is just a song from Jose Jose, which is titled Será. So from there, I'm really gonna focus just on that intro part. Granted, the song is longer, you could take any part of the song and extract it using this technique, but I'm gonna focus on the intro just because I already made a beat in the past using that portion, and to make this a little bit quicker. So the only other thing that you need to apply other than the command itself to detect the tempo of a song like this one, or a song or an audio region that has more instruments on it, more than just a drum break, you're gonna count if you have a drum part and do something similar to what we did in the first track with the drum break, and count 1, 2, 3, 4 and get 1 bar or at least 2 bars in that manner, and that way you're gonna use that region as your basis to detect the tempo of the whole song. Another thing that like I just mentioned is being well aware of where your transients are. I'm gonna introduce something very little that I'm gonna be explaining in much detail in future videos, which is the marquee tool. So for this one, what I'm gonna do is, so as you know, as you can hear, there's no drums at all there. So there's 2 things that I can do have no drums. If the intro has a part that repeats a few times, then it's not that complicated because you can chop or cut your audio region of the song before it repeats, and right there you know that's something that's looping or something that's repeating, and then you can use that to identify, okay, so this seems to be 2 bars or 4 bars or whatever before it loops, and use that as a basis. But it's a little bit of guesswork. Fortunately for us, this track here has some drums later on. And if you can put your ear to it, you can hear in the background that part from the intro. So what I'm gonna do is concentrate my effort here, and that way I should be able to do exactly what I did here with the drum break. So let's get right to it. So I'm gonna start from here, and If you notice on top here, I have the marquee tool as my command click tool. So when I press command, the cursor changes to the marquee tool. That's all that is. So I'm gonna try to find a transient, kick transient here, and that's because I'm basing my hearing on that portion from the intro that's also included in this portion of the audio where there's vocals and drums. So once you click on top of the audio region, you see that line there. If I press left and right my keyboard, that just goes into the next available transient of this song. And right there, that kick that I'm looking for should be in this area. So when I press delete, it's gonna chop that audio region where that marquee tool was. And now I'm gonna move the resultant to my play market. And now I'm just gonna, to make it easier for me, I'm gonna turn on the region. So now what I'm gonna do is count 2 bars using the drums in the background and use that to detect my tempo. So here we go. So right there I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my second 1, 2, 3, 4 ended here, and then this here I'm pretty certain it's the kick of the next set of bars. So I'm gonna take my marquee tool all the way to there. I'm gonna move this out of the way, and now I'm gonna shorten my region to 2 bars. But first, before I turn it down to 2 bars, let's listen just to what I chopped out. So if you listen to that kind of loops. So that seems to be looping very good. I think I did a pretty good job with that audio region there it's very busy, as you noticed. So now I just select the audio region I just took out, and I'm gonna repeat the same command. And there's my result. It tells me that that's the approximate tempo of just that region. But like I said at the beginning, some trial and error, it gets me as close as you can get, I guess, to the whole song's tempo. So now with that information, I'm gonna move to the beginning where the actual stuff that I want to sample is. I'm gonna turn off the region loop and let's try that again. So now, and this is just for show and tell, like I told you in the beginning, this intro part repeats a second time. So if you have a type of song like that, or a song that has that type of arrangement at some part, you can focus your effort there to find or to reduce your guesswork to find the right tempo. So when I chop before that repeating section of the loop at the intro, I see that the resultant audio region has to be 4 bars because it's very close with the tempo that I got from this little guy here that had the drums. And what I'm gonna do just to make it exact is repeat the command again, but to that new section, which is the one I want. If you notice, I already have a shortcut for it, but I'm not using it because I want you to get used to the looking for the command manually. And now let's listen to that. It has to loop right at the 4. And there you have it. So I know I went a little bit deep in the end with all the explanation. We're doing this for a song or another region that has a lot of instruments, but the real reason is that this is important because later on, or part 2, I'm gonna focus on flex time or time stretching versus chopping another region. And this is very important for sampling, because if you have an audio region that you want to loop and create a beat that way, you can use this technique to find the tempo, and either you can time stretch it and adjust it to a different tempo, or just lay your drums on top of this at the tempo that's the correct tempo for the audio region, and that way you will have more control on laying your own drums very specifically without having to time stretch or chop up your samples. If you need to chop your samples, this is also good because you can work at the tempo of the audio region and with your chops at that tempo, and then you don't have to go and resample or go crazy trying to make sure that your samples fall in the right areas of your beat, like if you use an ESX24 sampler or similar to an MPC. So with that, I'll leave you for now, and on part 2 I'm gonna be talking time stretching versus chopping. Make sure to use this and repeat it a lot of times so you can train your ear on what transients are and how important and how useful they can be to help you create beats, remixes, and other genres. It's not only for hip hop. It's good to learn about musical arrangements, how songs are structured, and why they are structured the way that they were by the music producer. So with that, I'm gonna leave you for now. See you in part 2. I hope that you liked this and it was useful. Please like, comment, or dislike. If you didn't like the video, that's fair as well. But you can also leave comments, subscribe to stay on top of any new videos that I put up. Like I said, this is gonna be a video series, and I intend to make other video series in the future, but for this one there's gonna be a few parts to it, so make sure to subscribe to stay on top to all the updates and next parts coming up. Also visit my website www.clormoindustries.com, where I have for now a digital music store with beats in there, with a selection of beats for sale and also free beats. Make sure to check on my playlist and on my channel for the free beats, and if you subscribe you'll always stay on top with any new free beats that I release. You can't beat free. That's pretty much all there is to it. So you can also look for Clormo on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, and Instagram. Thank you very much. See you in the next part. Peace out.